Times feature.
Children are innocent. From the age of 0 to 6 years, they just exist without love in a lot of instances, certainly without food in a lot of the instances, and they can't help themselves. They can't go and get a job. Somebody has to look after the children, and unfortunately in a lot of the rural areas and townships, people are so busy trying to survive themselves that they forget that there are children that need help. It's not something that we can look past. I mean, it's something we need to understand, that they are vulnerable and only we can help them.
To care, to share. That's the motto of Feed the Babies Fund, and it's a motto that the organization's director, Dean Krunink, lives by. He heads up a team of 7 dedicated staff members who run awareness campaigns and raise funds to fight malnutrition among less privileged children. Krunink says the organization was formed in May 1957 by Dr. Zelda Jacobson and Dr. Kark.
2 doctors at the University of KwaZulu-Natal were surveying the fields behind the university where Cato Manor squatter camp was starting to spring up, and they saw smoke coming up. They went down there and found a whole lot of undernourished kids running around there while their parents were trying to get work in the cities. From that, they started feeding those kids.
Today, the fund feeds 50 creches across the province, reaching approximately 8,000 children in areas such as Welbedacht, Ladysmith and Empangeni. Krunink says creches are given 45 mealie meal that's specially formulated to ensure healthy development and combat malnutrition. Childminders are then educated about how to administer the formula.
Based on the amount of children in a creche, so we allocate X amount of food, and the caregivers then monitor the amount required each day per child. So we feed the children every day that they're in the creche, which is generally 5 days a week, 22 days a month.
The fund screens all creches so that children who are most in need are assisted.
Social workers within the communities sometimes advise the creches that Feed the Babies exists and that we are available to help. Others just hear because we may be helping one in the area, they hear about it, they then apply. They send us an application form, we assess the application form, we go and visit the premises, see that exactly what the needs are. They are assessed based on what other funding they get, if any. A lot of them don't get any other funding.
As South Africa battles to fight HIV infection, Krunink says the role of nutrition should not be ignored.
If children in the first 2 years of their life don't get correct nutrition, it can lead to death, various illnesses. Unfortunately, AIDS is a major problem in this country, and again, with correct nutrition, children can live long and healthy lives even if they do have the virus.
With the increasing cost of food and transport, how does Feed the Babies Fund sustain its humanitarian work?
Up until now, the main source of funding is through schools. I'm sure a lot of people remember Feed the Babies from when they were at school. Youth fundraisers go to the schools, give a little talk, explain to the pupils what Feed the Babies is about, and request them to go home and do some odd jobs around the house and bring the money to help feed the babies. We visit about 150 to 200 schools a year. We are also now looking at corporate social responsibility, seeing if we can start tapping into the corporate market, because it's something we haven't got into. So it's really at this point in time still from the schools and from odd individuals out there who do support us.
Krunink says it costs only 30 Rand a month to feed a baby over the age of 6 months, which is a relatively small amount considering the luxuries most people spend their money on. That's why they've come up with the Sponsor a Baby initiative.
For a little amount of 30 Rand a month, you can really feel good about yourself. You can feel that when you go out and have that steak, which costs 90 Rand, for a third of that steak, you're actually feeding a baby for a month. It won't touch your pocket, yet it's going to touch somebody's life.
That was the director of Feed the Babies Fund, Dean Krunink, ending this